Hi, in this video we are going to do a quick wee run through of some basic revision tips for how to use Google Slides. A new Google Slides document can be created by going to your browser bar and typing in slides.new, by going to new within your Google Drive, and also within your assignment in Classroom by clicking add or create and choosing slides. Now, putting aside the file name, which will usually be derived from whatever you put in here, so we'll just do revision. If we click on that, that takes our file name up to that title box up at the top there. Putting that aside, the key things we want to start on here are looking at setting the presentation theme, creating new slides and applying layouts, creating bulleted numbered lists, inserting images, adding transitions to slides, animating items within your slides. Now, some of these things like insert images, bulleted numbered lists are the same essentially as they are in Docs. I'm not even really going to dig into formatting because that's all the same as in Docs and Sheets and so on. So there's no point in going over the same things numerous times. So we'll keep it simple. First of all, setting a presentation theme. So when we are clicked on one of these text boxes, we get our editing options here. So just be aware that you need to click off into this kind of blank space to deselect. And then you'll find you get these options here, one of which is a theme. Now that theme should apply itself to all of our slides. So I'm going to start by just showing you how to create new slides. Now you can do that in two ways, by doing new slide or duplicate slide. So if you have a slide that has stuff on it you want to reuse over and over again, you can hit duplicate slide and that will just copy what you have, or a new slide will just make a blank one, and by default it is a title and content slide. So we'll just do two new slides for now, and then we'll go back to here and we're going to choose one of these different themes. Now, it doesn't appear to have done an awful lot to these other ones, but if we have a look at them, you can see that, outside of the title slide, quite often they are quite plain, but it's changed the font and this little icon. And likewise, if we change the theme again to some of these others, you'll see that these kind of features, these graphic features, appear on the actual pages. So the theme should apply itself through all of your images, not all of your images, all of your slides, should I say. Incidentally as well, your background, you can choose a background color in here. From a legibility point of view, if there's a particular color you like, you can use that and you can add it to your theme, and that will then apply to all of your slides, as you can see there. I don't really want to do that, so I'm just going to undo, because it's going to make it difficult to read the white writing. And you can also add an image as a background, but we're not going to bother doing that. So if you want to add an image as a background to all your slides, you can do that too. Now, the next thing I was going to talk about is the way that we set up the actual content. If we have different content, we might want our slides to be laid out in different ways. And it's better, if possible, to use the standard templates to do that than to make your own text boxes and move them all about, because basically when you change themes, it can kind of mess it all up. So just from a point of view of keeping your consistent formatting, it's better if you can, when you want to say, for example, we wanted to put two columns of text here, if you right click on it and then go to apply layout, you'll see you've got a range of different options here, one of which is title and two columns, and that will just set it up for you to have two columns of text rather than you deleting the text box and adding your own ones. And there's lots of different layouts that you can choose from. They're all fairly self-explanatory if you have a look, like captions, which work quite well for images. So you can, set up the slides as necessary for what your content's going to be. So we've done setting our theme, creating the slides and applying layouts. We've also got to do a couple of other things like creating bulleted numbered lists. So in here, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to copy this bit of text here, because it's on several lines. It's like a list, really. And I'm just going to quickly delete these wee hyphens, which can make it it'll make it look a bit weird when we add bullet points. And if we highlight all that information, actually, incidentally, I didn't think to say this. So when I pasted it, I did something I probably shouldn't have. I should have probably pasted without formatting, because you'll see that now the text here looks different from that text there. And we would want it to look the same. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to save me deleting this hyphen again. I'm going to copy it again, and then I'm going to undo, because if you delete it, that doesn't reset the formatting, okay? So I'm going to undo, and now I'm going to do Shift Control V, which is paste without formatting, and you can see it's now come in using the format of the slide. So all our text will be the same for copying and pasting. Anyway, to add numbers and bullets, as before, we've got our numbers or bullets options here. We can increase the indent by hitting the tab key or by using the increase indent button here, and we can decrease it by pressing it backwards. We can add additional points by simply going to the end of the last point, hitting enter, and you can add in another point. So all quite straightforward. It's squashing my text up because I've actually got some empty space here that shouldn't be there, some blank lines. So if I delete them, it'll auto fit a little bit better. So that's basically all there is to bulleted and numbered lists. Inserting images is pretty straightforward as well. So if we go down here and go to insert, as before, we've got insert image, and we have a range of options here, including taking them from your drive, from Google Photos. You can copy the URL from an image that you found on the web. You can use the camera on your device to take a picture and directly insert it, upload a picture that you've got on your computer, or you can search from the web. So we'll just have a wee hunt for a picture here. Sure, there we go. I'll go with a blue background. And when you insert, as before, you can double click to crop and use your wee crop bars here. You can also just grab the handles and you can resize as necessary. So as before, pretty straightforward. The one thing that is different here, though, is that you can insert a hyperlink in an image in a slideshow. So if we right click on that, hold on, just need to move this out of the way. Can't remember if it comes up. I think it goes off the bottom of the screen sometimes. So what you sometimes have to do is click on the image, then go to insert and then link here, or use the shortcut Control key. Probably wouldn't want to use this particular web address, but for the sake of a demonstration. And that means when we open up the slideshow and we click on that image, it will take us to the website. So that can be quite a useful tool within a presentation. Now, adding transitions is the next thing we'll look at. So going from one slide to the next, if we present the slideshow and we click, we simply switch from one slide to the next. Transitions are a kind of an animation that apply to when slides change. So if we go into our slides, we go to transition, we can choose how they transit. So we can go into here and, for example, choose that we want them to slide from the left or flip or whatever we want them to do. We can choose how fast that will happen. And we can also choose to apply to all slides. So if you want, you can add transitions that are different on each slide. Say you wanted every second one to go in from the left and others to go from the right. But to be honest, it generally looks a bit tacky. So the best thing to do is just apply to all slides with whatever transition you're going to use. You can just quickly hit present to see how that looks. So we can now see that as we work through, we've got that nice transition. And the other thing that we can add are animations. Now, when we open up slide transitions, we actually get the object animations toolbar here. So we'll just use that. But incidentally, if you go to an item and right click on it, you'll see that you have the option to animate as well. So it's very easy to find animations. So in here, if we go in and select that object there and right click animate, I can choose how that appears. And I can also choose whether it will do it by paragraph, which I think with bullet point and lists will mean each bullet point will come up individually. So if I wanted these things to fade in when I click, I can use that option there. If I wanted them to disappear, so we can make things appear then disappear later by adding a second animation. So I'm going to just make that fade in rather than making it complicated on click, but we can also make it automatically do it after the thing that did something previously. So we'd maybe start the animations by clicking once and then all of the others would follow one another. But again, we'll keep it simple. I'm going to hit by paragraph, and you've got a wee preview play button you can hit here to see what happens. So when I click, you'll see that now I click each time and a new bullet point will appear. And if we decided we wanted them all to appear at the same time, we could just, instead of doing by paragraph, do it that way, and when we click once, the whole lot appears. So that's basically how you add animations, and you can just go through selecting the items and adding animations as you so wish. So really that's it in terms of the key things that we wanted to learn about how to do in slides. There's a whole load of other things that you can do. We don't want to overcomplicate at this stage. So for now, hopefully that helps. And if you've got any questions, you can let me know.